It is a Wednesday afternoon, and the North London Derby just ended, and I am feeling fantastic because even though it was relatively ugly, Arsenal got a win today. On the show with me today, we have Tall, Dark, and Handsome. And other than being a person with a great smile, he's a person who can get you a home. He can lease, buy, or sell. And when he's not barking orders on the field, he's also doing stuff at the church. Introducing you to Mr. Tommy Wooten, and
Woot
he is
woot.
our resident Chelsea fan. Go ahead.
Kabooey, how you doing today?
Doing great. How about you?
I'm good. I mean, at least someone's team picked up all 3 points this week.
Well, after losing two cup games last week, we needed something to pick us up, right?
Yeah, you did. You did. Um, I'll let you take the lead on where you want to go with this. Um, Congrats. I don't really know what to say other than congrats. I mean, messy performance.
Hmm.
But in a derby, you never know which way those are going to swing. Anything can happen. Anyone can get injured. And but thankfully for you, I mean, pretty unscathed. 3 points. Tottenham is going to Tottenham. I don't know what to say. They're gonna. They're just going to do what they do.
For a home game, it felt like a smash and grab, but we'll talk about that later. First thing I want to just run through is scores from the day. And I just pulled this up real quick. Uh, Villa survive a late onslaught from Everton, so they take 3 points. Crystal Palace finding some mid-season form, pick up 2 points over the Foxes, who look like they're going to go down. Newcastle, Mr. Isak, who we could have bought for 62 million, but we chose to get Kai Havertz for 65. Scored a couple more goals for Newcastle, and they are on a six-game winning run. And then bringing up the train for today is Arsenal in the last car with a win over Tottenham. But the game that we're going to talk about is the game that happened yesterday. That's the first thing we want to talk about. And
Yeah.
Chelsea 2, Bournemouth 2. Talk to me. What happened, man?
Well, I have mixed feelings because I always root for Americans, and our very own Captain America from World Cup 22, Tyler Adams, played in the middle of the park, and he had a solid game. Um, but as a Blues fan, it's more points dropped.
Hmm.
That's winless in the last five.
Hmm.
That shows a lack of the lack of leadership that this team has, and their deficiencies at the back and at the goalkeeper position. You know, Sanchez is a serviceable goalkeeper, but that's really where it stops. I think I don't know how high his ceiling is. The back four that we play with is, it's spotty. They give up easy goals. The
Hmm.
midfield you can kind of cut through. Uh, you know, there's I don't want to get old man syndrome, but this is nothing close to any sort of defense that Chelsea supporters have been used to. In the 2000s and the 2010s, since COVID. I would say after the Champions League win, it's been all downhill. And I will say, of course, it's better
Yeah.
than it's been. I I'm I'll put it this way: I'm shockingly surprised with their form on this season. All this being said, they paid for these results, so it shouldn't be a shock that they are sitting where they are. I mean, what
Yeah.
was the total transfers over that 12-month period? Wasn't it like $1 billion spent?
The last 2 or 3 years have been over $1 billion.
Yeah. So who else has
And you
done
have
that? And
assets that you can trade. So I think that's the important thing is, you went from Rudiger, Zuma as a backup, right? Thiago
mhm.
Silva. Those were your center backs to now Badia Shield, Axel Disasi.
Disasi.
The guy that you released, Chalobah, looks better than the guys that you have right now. Right?
Chalobah could never get in a good run of games, though. And, he was a kid that
Yeah.
that came up, and you would have liked to have seen him, really stuck on the first team. It just didn't happen for him. New ownership came in, the American, and he just wanted to go throw money around. And there, it didn't look good last year, but it does look like a lot of that money is coming to fruition. All that being said,
Mm-hmm.
The team does lack spine. It lacks that one person, which should be. It looks like it might end up being Caicedo. Unfortunately for Reece
Mm-hmm.
James, he's not that anymore.
Yeah.
And for his position on the field, I always like. For me, I'm call me old school. I like my captain to be in the middle of the park, a
Yeah.
center back who has good influence on the game, who can calm the game down from the middle of the park or from the back, or even lead from the front. I've always, I didn't like when Aspilicueta was captain. I look at what you have in Odegaard, and I think that's the right position for a captain, and even a goalkeeper. Myself as a goalkeeper,
Yeah.
I like that because you can see everything on the field. You can play out of the back when you want to slow down. You can, if you have the advantage, bomb forward, send the boys forward. But for Maresca,
Mm-hmm.
as he came out and said, this team isn't in contention for any hardware right now.
Yeah.
But all that being said, I digress. And look, you got your 3 points today. I kind of feel bad I do feel bad for Arsenal a little bit. I've never been a true Arsenal supporter, but you take what you can get.
Yeah.
But when you look big picture, it is a little concerning, seeing as how both in Champions League and in the
Yeah.
and in you're chasing Liverpool, and also in the league chasing Liverpool, who appears to be having a run for the ages right now, and seeing what they are putting together, the performances that they're putting together. It's like, can we
Yeah.
catch these guys? So can you catch them?
It's a tough ask, and
It is.
I'll give you a caveat to whether we can catch them or not. We need a striker and a cam who can actually carry the ball effectively and make things happen and shoot. We have a cam that can do that in Waneri, but he's injured right now. Martin Odegaard does certain things, but he looks to pass first. So if Waneri comes back, and
Such a good creator, Odegaard. His vision
he's a
is.
good creator, but he almost like wants to create too much. At some point, you got to be the big dog and say, you know what, I'm taking the game by the scruff. I'm gonna take a shot, and he has like the softest. He's like a pound puppy. Like I can hit the ball harder than him. I swear. And I'm not. I don't practice daily like him, but he just doesn't seem to have the commitment to want to take it on and be the guy to be the hero. You don't have to be the hero all the time, but you have to have that trait in you to be the hero when your team needs it sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Carry the ball through the midfield, finish, Yeah. I look at where you guys have, Kai Havertz started today. Didn't he play 90?
He plays 90 every game.
Yeah. So I was looking at his production for the season, and I'll be honest, you hit it right on the head. Their miscalculation in taking Kai Havertz instead of Isak is just it's insane right now to see the difference in confidence between the two, and technical ability.
Yes,
Isak is
100%.
worlds better
Yeah,
than I would say Kai Havertz has been in the EPL. Now, perhaps Kai Havertz showed that sort
yeah.
of that sort of upside when he was in Germany still, but
Hmm.
not since arriving in the EPL. I mean, he hit, and as a Chelsea supporter, I can tell you he and Timo Werner hit low times together,
I
and
watched
yet
it and I used to laugh. And then
it
the
was
second
bad.
you guys took 65 million pounds from us,
Yeah,
I was so mad on that day, and nothing against the guy. His limitations are him. But when somebody believed that you could pay that much for the guy and he's going to be the game changer, when he was never the game changer at Chelsea, was
yeah.
disappointing for me. So,
I don't know what they saw in him. I was happy to see him go.
yeah, I
Um,
bet you were.
you know, there's been a few players that have gone over to Arsenal. Of course, with
With a
Jorginho and
rehab clinic for you guys, where we take your castaways.
and Sterling was on the pitch for a while today as well. And I think you have a frustrating squad. I think that they are trying to put something together,
Yeah,
and I just think that you are definitely missing pieces. Uh, and it's just not the formidable attack that that Liverpool has. And they tried Kai Havertz. I remember him playing in the 4-3-3 and playing
midfield,
as a left midfielder, and I was like,
diabolical.
wow, whoa. So you bought him as a striker, but
Hmm.
he didn't show up as a striker, and now
Nope.
you're trying him around in the midfield, and so
He
I
ended up
don't.
on the wing last week, on the left wing. I your
That
6'3" guy who can't dribble was on the wing last week.
no,
And so
no.
anyway, I think that the short answer is no. We're not going to catch Liverpool.
I
Liverpool scores too many goals and they don't give up as many.
I would
That's the
say
bottom line.
this. Let's I liken Arsenal, and now that we talk about Kai Havertz, I liken Arsenal to my Dallas Cowboys. Um,
Now you're going too far.
no, no, hear me out. And I'm not even going to say the obvious, which is the hardware that was once there, and it being just kind of barren land since then. Um, that's not no shots fired. You're not catching. I'm not shooting strays
I'm
here.
catching strays.
But
It's okay.
what I'm trying to say is a
Yeah.
situation like that where it doesn't appear that the manager, and he has the keys to the vehicle. Why is he not? Why is Kai Havertz not having a seat and making way for an academy player or a second team player to come up and show something? That is Cowboys esque. Whereas if they pay somebody, they have to play them regardless of how bad they are.
That's
And
what it is.
I'm not even going to say names, but you sign a big name,
Hmm.
you sign them,
To a
pay
big
them big money, and when they don't perform, you have to you then have to play that person and hope that you can build their stock up so that you can sell them
yeah.
and not take a loss. If that's not a page out of the Cowboys book, I don't know what is. I could
I'll take the
name.
stray then. In that
Uh,
case, he's uh, at some point. I think maybe 2 years left at the end of this summer. Maybe some club in Germany
Boy,
takes him. Maybe he'll be happy to go back to Germany because he's catching a lot of abuse, which is honestly never acceptable, right? It's never acceptable to abuse a player or his families. We can criticize, but like
sure.
he's catching the heat, and I think he might just like Xhaka say, you know what? Thanks, guys. I'll go back to Germany where they
Hmm.
love me. Go on lower wages to some random club where there's less pressure, and go live my life. You know
I
what I
thought
mean?
Granit Xhaka was class though.
He was
I,
class when they moved him into a cam role. He wasn't class when he played as a DM, which he isn't, right?
yeah.
So, um, talk
I,
about Chelsea. What are your expectations for this season? Because you started off pretty good, and then
yeah.
you've had a rash of 6 games where you've dropped about 18, 15 points. So you went from almost assured, like competing for the league, to now it's like, okay, top four is a challenge.
Top four is a challenge. I think coming off of last year, I think Europa League would be acceptable. I think going uh, into the Champions League with this set of boys with no leader, I fear for what the outcome of any Champions League group would be. I think
Mhm.
they're better suited for Europa League this season. Next season, I mean, I'm curious to see what happens in these next couple of transfer windows. I'd be, I, and I will put them in the Champions League next season.
I give
But
you one good transfer window. You're one good transfer window away from competing for the league. Four players. You need a top-notch goalie. You need two center backs,
mhm.
and then you need a killer up front. For me, that is all you need to
You
be a team that
mean you're not
competes for the
satisfied
league.
with Nicholas Jackson?
Oh my God! Don't get me started.
You mean you're not satisfied with Nicholas Jackson?
I'm satisfied with Nicholas
I
Jackson.
bet you are.
I'm
I take
satisfied with
that back.
you. Hey,
He speaking of abuse, it was really rough for Nicholas Jackson last year.
yeah,
Um, he's finishing better this year, and he's showing some really big. He's showing a lot of upside, but I don't know that you can. I don't know that you can rest on him finding form because we know we've seen how low it can get with Nicholas Jackson, where he was just very unsure.
yeah.
Uh, and if that happens, and that's your lone striker, I don't know. I really don't know what you do after that. So they do need another striker to bring another one in. I agree with the center backs. Um, I think they are strong on the wings. I'm curious as to what the plans are for Reece James.
I was
Very
gonna
curious.
say, I think if you just let Reece James come back into form slowly, just play him lightly this season, let him rebuild his hamstring. You hold on to him because 70, 80% Reece James is still one of the top, right backs in the world, in my opinion. Like before he was injured, I think he was the best right back in the world. So I would gamble on Reese, like just getting light minutes this season. Let Gusto and Cucurella play, and I would hold on to him. Nicholas Jackson for me is your trading chip to that next level.
They're going to lose money on Nicholas Jackson. I can't remember what they paid for him, but
You're going to lose money on half the guys you bought, right?
correct.
Not
Mikhailo
more.
Mudrik. I was actually at the game where they introduced Mudrik. Um, I was wanted to be excited for him. That guy is all gas, no brakes, and no composure. Um,
Yeah,
for what he can be, I don't know. It shows in special flashes. He is a raw product.
he's a Dama without the muscles.
Oh my goodness gracious. I wouldn't even diss Adama like that.
No, you wouldn't. Okay,
No, Adama can. I'd say Adama can finish. No,
he
he can't
cannot
finish.
finish.
He
No,
can't finish.
the same
No,
profile.
he may be Adama without the muscles.
He's a Dama.
All gas, no brakes, no muscles, no
Yeah,
composure. Yeah, I will say this: I've seen Adama complete way more dribbles than I've ever seen Mudrik
yeah,
complete.
yep,
Way more, and that maybe that's just his that for the amount of time that because we've been watching him for so long. But
yeah,
um, yeah, Mudrik came in and you know wrong time. It's shocking to see Cucurella
yeah.
as a regular. I he gives effort and
But he's
he's
hit or
he,
miss. He's so hot, so cold.
I
You
mean, if
know,
you give him the right boots, I feel like he can. If you give him boots, the right boots, I feel like he's okay. Um,
bigger
no,
question for you,
mm,
and this is going to tie into like where you're going to end up this season.
hmm
Leicester fans were screaming when you guys got Maresca that the crash will come, the crash will come. You're going to hit the wall. Are you concerned that he's changed the way he's playing, or is it just bad string of games and you'll find your form?
I honestly I can't put this on the manager. I think it's
Okay.
on ownership to get in the players to be to build some spine in the team to build.
Yeah.
Someone needs to step. They need to either bring in. I don't know about bringing in a veteran, a veteran leader, because I don't know where they would play. I like who they have on the field, but unfortunately, Enzo can't be trusted as a leader.
No,
Caicedo,
he's quiet.
I wouldn't call him quiet, but he is you don't know what you're going to get with Caicedo. You may get a yellow or red and your captain's off.
That-
You know what I mean?
That's true.
I don't think that he has the right temperament. Maybe in a few years he'll have the temperament to be. I think he has potential of anyone on the field to be a wonderful captain in the middle of the park.
More than Colwell.
Yes, yes,
Colwell
I like Colwell.
Yeah. Okay.
But I yeah, Caicedo is fiery, man. He's not quiet at all, which is part of the reason that he can get you into trouble and get sent off and
Okay.
leave the team, with their pants down trying to finish a game without him. No, I think that's what they're lacking, and I think you just got to give this manager some time. I think he's unlocked a couple things that a few of the managers in the past haven't been able to unlock.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
kind of where I'm at.
So I think I'm shooting. I'm shooting for a European slot. I'm hoping that we go to Dubai and there are some strikers in Dubai for training, so we can maybe somehow go pull something out of Newcastle. That's going to be the highlight for my season. Champions League knockout. We'll be knocked out probably before quarters, but it is what it is. Back to the drawing board. We have games coming up this week. You're not playing till Monday. You play Wolves on Monday, so I would expect you guys to win that because you're at home. We play Saturday, so short turnaround.
Thank you for believing in Chelsea and picking up 3 points at home. I
don't
don't know
believe in you. I'm just
why. Well, you just said you
being
expect
pragmatic.
them to beat Wolves at home
Yeah.
when Chelsea's shaky at home. Chelsea is shaky.
Yeah, Reece James saved
at
you,
home.
95th minute.
Yeah. I mean, Chelsea is shaky at home, so I wouldn't put it past them to draw there either. Not to mention, it's mental now. You see what's happening at Juve. Lots of just a string of draws. It becomes mental when you get ahead or when you fall behind and you can't get the go ahead. When you can't get the go ahead goal after I've seen the situation time and time again, and unfortunately with FC Dallas too, it becomes mental, and it makes it very hard to get the go ahead goal or to put together enough goals to get a win. Once this draw thing kind of sets in, it makes it difficult. So I hope the boys get 3 points. I think they've got the talent to, but it's got to be up there. It's got to be up there. It's got to be belief. It's got to be execution. It's got to be calm. It's got to be a dominant performance. If you're not dominating, against Wolves, you don't need to be in Champions League.
Those are facts. So
All right.
Can't wait for the March the 15th for our game. Looking forward to it, but we'll catch up before then. We're going to talk more football. Appreciate you being on the show with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Catch you next time. Cheers.